special meeting for Water Pollution Control Authority for August 26, 2021. Need a motion to open the meeting?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meetings,
Okay, so here we are, we're gonna review the agreement. There we are with the agreement. So, as an update, we have been going back and forth with Avon to come to some terms with what they've asked for additional capacity, additional changes to the agreement. And from basically years of going back and forth, working with our attorney and their attorney, CJ Thomas and Brandon Robertson. This is the agreement that was finalized. It reflects codification of their cost for their payments for the addition of the upgrade to the plant in item 1. Item 2 is based upon the section in the agreement that every time that the Avon discharges more than their capacity, we are to bill them for that quarter, and they would pay. We went back 15 years and found that we were close to 725 gallons per day is where they went to. And that would be based on, because the flow was prior to the current last upgrade, so it went back to the previous upgrade of 1994. And that cost was $15,722,365. And the additional capacity of 125,000 gallons over the 600 multiplied by that gives you, as a ratio to the plant current plant capacity at that time, gives you a total cost and fee that Avon owes us of $347,778.71. The town of Avon has presented this and has been approved at their WPCA, at their town council, and their board of finance. And it is before you for discussion and approval or denial, whatever you shall vote on. And we will go from there. Item 3 on the agreement is basically, we agree that anything discussed, we had FOI issues and claims they claimed against us are null and void at this point. I will work, the town engineers, whether it's me or whoever else comes in, will work together to develop, well, at this point, I'm going to work with Larry to develop a billing procedure on the actual cost for the actual flow for paragraph 5. And that is basically, we will charge Avon each quarter for expenditures for that quarter as a ratio to the actual flow that they send us to the flow at the plant. Where we have been in the past, based their billing on the overall budget for the year to the overall flow at the plant per each quarter. So that's just a little bit different. It ends up being the same dollar amount for the most part at the end. So there's really, the only change is that it's based on the actual expenses per quarter instead of averaged out over the year. Item number 5 was basically just the signatures. Should the Farmington WPCA approve it? So with that, I will open it up to anyone for discussion or questions.
Russ, this is Jim Foot, does Avon own the flow meters and they are responsible to maintain and calibrate, et cetera?
So Avon owns the flow meter, but per the agreement, we're responsible for maintenance of it. And that is one thing that has come out of this. We're going to be we've added that into our group for our pump stations that will be going out every week or at least bi-weekly to check the meter along with Avon to make sure that there's nothing stuck in the meter. We just had it calibrated back, 3 weeks ago, Mark, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, we had it calibrated 2 weeks ago, and we were just out there yesterday to check everything, pump out any rainwater that was in there. So we met Tim Foster out there, and we're gonna be doing that every week or every other week at this point.
Recalibrating it?
No, just cleaning anything out, any debris that gets stuck in it, making sure everything's operating fine, and then calibrating it is good for an annual year, so we'll be doing it every year, July or August, so.
Russ, so there's just one flow meter? I mean, I thought there was discussion about adding a second.
There's the Avon and then there's a Crocus. I don't know if you want to take it, Russ, but there's a Crocus one too that we add into it. But then we have to subtract the Canton flow from the Crocus meter, and then we add that total to the Avon meter, and that's the total for all of the flow.
Is that Crocus, is that Farmington Woods?
It's, if you're by the golf course, you basically go back around where the entrance is, and then you take a left, and it's Crocus is the first street in Farmington Woods.
Yes, yeah.
I believe it's the first one. I always get lost going in there, but
That's close,
yeah,
that's close enough.
Yes, both meters are in Avon.
yeah.
The main meter takes 100% of Avon's flow. The Crocus meter takes flow from Canton. So we get the flows. Canton has a meter on their end of what they send to Avon, and Canton sends that to us. So we take that number, subtract it from the Canton Crocus meter, and add it to cumulatively to the main meter to come up with our total Avon flow for their billing.
And typically Canton's like 10% of Crocus Lane. It's not that much. It's usually 5 to 8,000, and Crocus averages about 50. So
Canton, years ago, probably about 3 to 5 years ago, I can't remember, the years are flying by. They made a change after the shops at Canton, the Canton Golf Course went in. That instead of all their flow coming from there and like 44 and north of 44, they changed their sewer direction by gravity, and that all flows to their plant. So it reduced their flow to Farmington quite a bit.
Now, does the money for Canton go to Avon or does it go to us?
It comes to us, so we bill them for their flow that they send us.
So if the town of Avon has some large scale development in the next 5 or 10 years, and they need excess capacity over that 725,000 gallons, what can we or can we not do for them?
Well, we can accept it, and it'd be difficult not to accept it because it'll be coming through the same piping system. But they would, if once the increase goes in, they should be upfront and tell us what's coming, and we would notice it in the flow, and any additional flow would get charged accordingly based on this calculation.
Okay, but we're held to this calculation which we're signing on to.
Correct. That's part of the original agreement, Kev.
So then what are the negatives to this for us, Russ, compared to the positives?
The positive is, we're following the agreement the way, the intent of it is. It hadn't been done in the past, and everything, basically it's open a line of communication. So anytime there's an issue, we've told them we're gonna follow our agreement to the letter of the law, making sure that everything, there isn't any more gentlemen's agreements or handshakes. So everything's in black and white, and that's the positive side of it. As far as a negative goes, the only negative that I still hang my hat on is that when they send a peak flow to us, there's no penalty for taking capacity away from the plant or the additional gallonage until their monthly quarterly average goes over the 725. But they do pay for whatever flow they send us, they do pay to us per gallon for treat.
And I guess my main question is the town attorney fully in favor of this agreement?
Yes.
Was there any discussion of adding a penalty for going over the limit in this agreement?
That was part of for the past 4 or 5 years still, we've been trying to get that in there, and we just kept getting said no to. And that was part of our revised agreement that I sent over to them, that I created with our attorney. And they didn't like, Avon didn't like the revised language in the agreement, and basically said they weren't going to they didn't want to make any changes at that point. And thus, this is a result of years of negotiation.
So do you feel this is the best that we can do, given all of that?
Yes, at this point in time, yes, I do.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No.
Motion to adjourn?
Yeah, approval first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Need a motion to approve the amendment as presented?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passed.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you. I appreciate everyone taking time out of the schedule to accommodate the meeting. We will get this to, Peter will get this over, have you stop in once we get the signed documents from Avon. And I will have you sign it. Kathy will sign it, you will sign it, and then we will send it back to Avon. And then we will be following this agreement from there on.
Okay, Russ.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?